Sir, are you there? Okay. So we have discussed about MES-112. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the block 2, unit 1, that is course design. So in course design, we are going to discuss about how to develop the curriculum. Before coming to the developing a curriculum, we need to know what is the meaning of curriculum. So ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ curriculum କଥା କହୁଛେ broadly divide into we can say 4 part ଯୋଉଥିରେ କି ତମର curricular subject ଆସିବ ତାପରେ other curricular activities ଆସିବ other curricular activities ଆସିବ and socio-economic qualities ସବୁ ଆସିବ. So basically ଯଦି ଆମେ curriculum को कहबा ଯଦି broader sense ରେ ଆକୁ ଆମେ नेबा it is a course or program and ଆମେ एथरे कोन करूचे it can be unplanned and incidental କହିପାରେ or we can also say that ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ curriculum in distance mode ରେ କହୁଛେ in face to face situation it is quite easy for the students and for the teachers to provide or to transact the curriculum that is which is planned and which is unplanned or we can say incidental. But in distance situation it is quite difficult for the teachers to transact what is unplanned or we can say that is incidental. So normal class रे कौन होची there are a number of people will be there जोटे कि unplanned events बहुत सारा ही जाए occur हुए and a good teacher will be that one who will encourage student to ask question to discuss new concept and to debate issues and that dialogue which may be take place within classroom or outside the classroom it is an important part of the education. So in short not only the curricular subject curricular activities, other curricular activities and socio-personal qualities will compile the curriculum but also the students when they will be encouraged to work individually, complete their project, assignment, the motivation a teacher give to the student, the skills acquired by the students all will be compiled as a curriculum and sometimes we can say there is a term that is called hidden curriculum and ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ hidden curriculum କଥା କହୁଛେ so teaching a hidden curriculum is quite difficult and ଯଦି ମୁଁ basic term ରେ hidden curriculum ବୁଝେଇବାକୁ ଯିବି ତ ଗୋଟେ example ଆମେ ନେଇପାରିବା କଣ ନା ଯଦି ମୁଁ classroom କୁ as a teacher enter କରୁଛି ତ suddenly to show respect towards the teacher the students will stand up and that nature or that respect that the students showing that is will be also coming under the curriculum and जो respect देबा सेटा हमरो एमती formally न कहले मध्ये सेटा आमे गोटे as a part of hidden curriculum आमे नै परिबा. So in this part we will know about जेतला hidden curriculum कथा कहूचे एथरा तमरो learning objectives आसीबो डायलॉग कोन हमरो जदी हमरे टेक्स्ट नोचे कोन कोन हमें डायलॉग इधर रखि परिबा सपोज मु आमे नॉर्मली जेतले टीचर स्टूडेंट माने नॉर्मल कथा भी होंती सेथिरो जेटा आमे एज ए स्टूडेंट जो माने सिखंती तो सेटा मध्ये हमर हिडन करिकुलम रो गोटे पार्ट हिसाब रे जाय परिबो को तो डेली नॉर्मल कन्वर्सेशन भी एथरे जाउची एंड नेक्स्ट आसुचे आम कौन जो हिडन करिकुलम कथा कहूँ इट ऑल्सो सजेस्ट कि आम किछिटा इटा फैसिलिटेटिंग लर्निंग कहूँ तो इटा कौन करुचे ना इट हेल्प्स अस इन पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट तो जिते मु पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट कथा कहूँ तुम मैंने निजे जो बही पढ़ुव से गोटे जिन नोटिस कर कि सेल्फ लर्निंग मटेरियल आमर गोटे वर्ड यूज यू विल know about this तो जो you what the use हुए so it connects us with the material and सेटा हमको कौन feel करे कि नहीं I'm going to read about this and someone is there who is looking at me तो से कथा कही तो जिते आमर सेल्फ लर्निंग मटेरियल आम एमती डेभलप करें जोटा कि पर्सनल डेभलपमेंट आमर हेल्प कर देन जेहेतु सेल्फ लर्निंग मटेरियल आम जोटा कहूँ डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन जो मटेरियल आम यूज करूचे दो देयर इज नॉट फेस टू फेस इंटरेक्शन डेली बट किछिटा मात्रा रे हमर फेस टू फेस डिस्कशन मध्य जोटा हमर काउंसलिंग क्लास रो हुए किंतु जेहेतु फेस टू फेस इंटरेक्शन इमोशनल बॉन्डिंग जो नेचुरली गोटे स्टूडेंट एंड टीचर भितर जो क्रिएट होगा कथा से टीचर डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन रे हुए नि सेथिपे जतेबेला आमे सेल्फ मटेरियल डेभलप करूचे बा किछि करिकुलम डेभलप करूचे सो इन सर्टेन वे आम एमती डेभलप करबा बा जोटा कि आम लिखिबा जोटा कि आम प्लान करबा जोटा कि हमको पढ़िले एमिति फील करियो नो टीचर इज देयर और कि मु जनक सहित सेठी इंटरेक्शन करूचे देन से कौन कहते कि तापर आम ट्राए करिया कि डेभलपिंग कॉम्पिटेंसी इन स्टडी स्किल जदि जहाँ भी किसी ऑब्जर्व करुच्ची कि मो फेलो स्टूडेंट्स कौन पढ़ुंट से कौन रेगुलारली देखुंत एटा नॉर्मल फेस टू फेस सिचुएशन रे हुए किंतु डिस्टेंस लर्निंग रे मोर कौन मात्रा रे भी अन्य स्टूडेंट्स माने कौन करुछंती से माने कौन पढ़ुंट सो मोर से किसी चांस न था तो से आमर कौन दिया थे ना देखि सेल्फ लर्निंग मटेरियल किसी असाइनमेंट दि जाए जोटा कि आमको करने को पड़े तो सेल्फ आसेसमेंट आम कहीपर जो थ्रू कि आम केमती करवा ना थ्रू आसेसमेंट आम एटा करि परिबा तापरे आछे व्हाट शुड बी द नेचर ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स जेतले मो नेचर ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स कथा कहूचे ए वेराइटी नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स और हेट्रोजेनस स्टूडेंट्स आर देयर इन आवर क्लासरूम सो डिस्टेंस लर्निंग रे कोन हुए केवल हमर यंग लर्नर माने नुहंती जो माने जस्ट स्कूल पास करिकरी आछंती कि एग्जाम देकरी आछंती कि गोटे नुआ एक्सपीरियंस से माने ऑलरेडी पाई सारी छंती देन जस्ट तांकर कोनसी एनी रीजन जुको से माने फेस टू फेस क्लास कंटिन्यू न करिकरी डिस्टेंस कोर्स कंटिन्यू करूछंती सो डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन जपंदा कंसर्न रहउची तो सेठी कोन होउची सेठी हमें दुटा टाइप रो लोकन को हम पाइबा गोटे यंग लोकन को भी पाइबा गोटे ओल्ड लोकन को भी पाइबा तो जते बेले आमे यंग पिलांक सहित डील करछे द वे ऑफ देयर थिंकिंग द वे ऑफ देयर डीलिंग विथ द स्टूडेंट्स इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द ओल्डर वन द ओल्डर वन मे बी आमर कहि परिबा कि एमती सिचुएशन आछी कि तांको जेते तांको आमे पढौछे सेटा तांकर इफेक्ट करे कारण आमे सेल्फ लर्निंग मटेरियल जहाँ पे भी डेवलप करूचे एटा वेरियस लर्नर को मीट करिवो जमती कहले एटा यंग वन हे थांतु कि ओल्डर वन हे थांतु पॉसिबली हमर कोन रे कि किछटा फैक्टर थाए जहाँ भी हम तांको पढौछे से माने ओल्डर वन विल बी द मैच्योर वन younger one will not be the mature and semane with the maturity will handle the things and जो माने suppose मु कहली कोन adults माने जो माने रहले तांकर डिफिकल्टी हैंडल करिबा जिंसो तांकर डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर इज समथिंग डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द यंगर वन नेशनल कंसिडरेशन जदि आमे देखिबा किछिटा पार्ट रे जो गुडाक हमर face to face learning re a number of courses has been offered by the university or the colleges but in distance education the scope is narrow a number of courses have not been offered by the in distance mode why this is so because a national consideration is there which shows that a large or small range or large range of functional courses we can see there जोटा कि कौन कर रिलेटेड टू मैन पावर नीड्स एंड द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द एम्प्लॉय सो डिमांड एंड सप्लाई को लेकर आमर ए कोर्स गुड़ाक आरंभ होची देन यदि लास्ट वन जदि मु कहबी कंटेंट एंड मेथड को सो इन करिकुलम रे डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन रे किछिटा कंटेंट किछिटा ऑब्जेक्टिव जदि प्रेजेंटेशन आमे देखिबा कन्वेंशनल एजुकेशन टू सेटा डिफरेंट रोहे एंड सेटा रहिबो भी बिकॉज़ एठी आमे टीचर को साहाଯ୍य कम नि एंड सेल्फ लर्निंग मटेरियल ऊपर अधिक डिपेंड हुए तापर आसबा आमे असेसिंग एजुकेशनल नीड्स। सो जेमति कि जस्ट टिके पूर्व आमे कहले कि डिस्टेंस लर्निंग रे हेट्रोजेनस स्टूडेंट्स कर पॉपुलेशन इज मच मोर इन कंपैरिजन टू फेस लर्निंग। सो जेतेबेले आमे डिस्टेंस लर्निंग रे काहाकू फेस करिया को जाउचे द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ द एडल्ट लर्नर कोन हबो कि जदि आमे एडल्ट लर्नर मानन को देखिबा जेमति कि ऑलरेडी मु कहिथिली दे विल बी मोर एक्सपीरियंस एंड द मैच्योर वन इन देयर स्टडीज। any reason jogu they drop out from the regular class and now they want to continue it, then कौन जदि younger one अछंती they want a degree or something like this कि तांकर सेटा career grow करिवो किंबा सेमाने किछि डिग्री पाउछंती कि the older one is the one who is here for their personal benefit, we can say for their professional benefit, we can say. So irrespective of their age, irrespective of their qualification, maybe qualification is same both younger and the older or the adult one, but the time of pursuing is different. जो माने younger one थिबे आमे कहि परिए कि after completion of their suppose a younger one is there who is completed his intermediate, किंतु जदि आमे एडल्ट वन को देखिया सपोज से सेठी ड्रॉप आउट करिछि एंड 5-6 वर्ष पर अगेन से कंटिन्यू करिया को चाहूछि तो सेमिति केसेस भी हम पाखरे थाई परंत बा सेमिति पिला भी हम पाखरे थाई परंत। सो डिस्टेंस बोर्ड रे आमे तांकू भी हमको हैंडल बा तांकू भी फेस करिया को पड़ी थाए। सो जदि गोटे आइडियल सिचुएशन देखिबा बा आइडियल सिचुएशन रे कोन जदि आमे ओनली एडल्ट मानो को एडल्ट एंड यंगर मानो को आमे डील करिबा को जाउछे। सो अकॉर्डिंगली ताको कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स हमको बुझिया को पड़िबो, तांकर नीड हमको बुझिया पड़िबो, सेमाने कोन चाहउछन्ती तांकर साइकोलॉजी अनुसार हमको लर्निंग मटेरियल डेवलप करिवार अछि। देन आछि कोन कंस्ट्रक्टिव अप्रोच टू कोर्स डिजाइन। सो जेतले हम कंस्ट्रक्टिव अप्रोच कहूची मेनली आमे कोन कहूचे कंस्ट्रक्टिव अप्रोच रे द स्टूडेंट विल कंस्ट्रक्ट हिज ओन नॉलेज। जेतले हम कहूची स्टूडेंट विल कंस्ट्रक्ट हिज ओन नॉलेज तो कन्वेंशनल टेक्स्ट बुक रे सेमती किछि भी स्कोप दिया जाय न थाए, किंतु जेतेबेले आमे सेल्फ लर्निंग मटेरियल डेवलप करिबा कोर्स डिजाइन करिबा आमे कोन प्रिंसिपल को आखि आगे रखिबा दैट ए लर्नर एज द लेजिटिमेट सोर्स ऑफ नॉलेज and must be encouraged to learn to trust himself and their knowledge. Then it also says that learning is not a passive exercise that consists of absorbing knowledge developed and transmitted by the expert. Learning is the matter of the learners creating meaning from the materials and interaction that are available to them as resources. It also based upon the principle that the learners are encouraged to take control and initiate their own learning. And it also says that the ambiguity and contradiction are not problematic. They can be helpful in pushing the learner towards problem solving or problem posing or approach to learning. So in designing the material using this approach, the course designer's role is that of a collaborator and not just with the with regard to the subject expert but to the learner as well. Okay, so it means the course designer or the mainly the course designer must be a collaborator, not the subject expert. He needs to think from the learner point of view as well. Then come to the assessment of specific need. When I'm talking about the assessment of specific needs, it also include that take the example of IGNOU, that is Indira Gandhi National Open University. Here the commission is study from the Educational Consultants Indian Limited to inform decisions to be taken on its first courses. Then the survey demanded that the general undergraduate courses and also a specific demand for management and computer related courses. So we need to assess what are the specific needs are there or what are the specific needs are the situation or the society demands. Okay, so when it comes to planning individual courses, general service often need to be supplemented. So जेतेला हमें planning करिबा हमें किसटा जिंस देखा first होची who will the learner be, what are the aims and objectives, what is the subject content to be, how will the content be sequenced, what teaching methods and media will be used, how will learners be assessed, How will the course or lesson be evaluated with a view to improvement? It also includes the identifying the target group, collecting information about their background and experience, identifying their needs. So come to the first point, that is who will the learner be. So when I'm going to design a course material as a course designer, I need to think about the who will be my target audience or who will be the learner I'm going to meet, what should be his qualification or what should be his previous qualification, what he is going to learn, how to connect with his previous experience. I will identify all these things, then I will try to be more flexible rather than more complicated. And when I will think about the learner, I will taking into consideration the demographic point of view. I will try to give them motivation. It also consider about the learning factors, subject background, resource factor, typical problems. Let's discuss about one by one. First one is demographic factor. So in demographic factor, it will include how many learners are there, what range do they belong to, do they include number of both sexes, what is the family status and employment or occupation. And it is there will also be a question that the learner's geographic location, previous education. I have already told you his previous education and knowledge of various languages. Then come to the motivational factor. When I'm talking about the motivational factor, here the question will be arise that why are the distance learners going to take a specific course or program? What does this program relate to their life and work? What do the learners want to get from the program? Why do they choose self-learning and what are the expectations and fears? Then come to the next one, that is learning factors. So when I'm talking about the learning factors, the questions will be what are the distance learners' beliefs and about the learning experience and hopes from it? What learning styles do they prefer? What learning skills do they have? What experience do they have of distance learning or have they had prior experience with self-learning at all? Do they have adequate time and facilities available for study? Then come to the next one, that is subject background. When I'm talking about subject background, the questions are what knowledge, skills and attitude do learners have? How do the distance learners feel about the subject or course? What personal interest and expectations are relevant? Then come to the resource factor. So in resource factor, the questions are where, when and how will learners be learning? How will they paying their fees and expenses? How much time will they have to study? How much access will they have to the required equipment and human support? So the typical problems faced by the distance learners are the family pressure, worries about work and money, lack of access to books and libraries, lack of own study pace, isolation from peer group or other learners, lack of transportation, lack of confidence, and last but not the least, lack of required to attend tutorials. So, from the above discussion, we may infer that such information may be included when we are going to design a course. Next, come to the what will be the target group be like. So when I'm talking about the target group, so the questions should be like this: what kind of educational qualifications do they have? Have they all reached the same standard of knowledge or are they at different levels? What languages did they use for their earlier studies? If they used other languages from the one new proposed, what standard of language performance can we expect? How long ago did they study? Is their subject knowledge likely to be out of date? What do they want or need to learn? Then come to the what do they want or need to learn. In this question, we will taking into consideration the syllabus which need to be well known to adults, and we need to here we need to consideration upon consider on giving them extra help. For example, if a adult forget about the mathematical technique, we need to provide them additional support. Then come to the process of curriculum planning. So when I'm talking about the process of curriculum planning, it will obviously require a systematic approach, and there is certain design which needs to be followed. So in this we will include a close planning or course planning, that is called a systematic approach, and which include the need, the objectives, the resource and the constraints, selection criteria, alternative methods, alternative subject matter, choice of methods, and feedback, and the development and trials, and last but not the least, its evaluation. Okay, so let's discuss about one by one. So when I'm talking about the need, it will include the educational need. So we need to know what is the need of the students, what he required, what is the level of learning required. So when if it is a poor choice of content, then there will be a mismatch between course objective and student aspiration. So we need to know what is the educational need of the student. Then come to the objective. So when I'm talking about the defining objective, so I'm need as a course designer, I need to be particular about my broader aims and specific objectives. What are the objectives need to be fulfilled through this content? So I need to clear about this. Then come to the resources and constraint. So in resources, it includes the what are the study material, what are the extra material, what are the extra books are available, and to get that extra material, what are the constraint I have faced. Then come to the here the resources constraint. It comes under the it includes the learner and its environment. So in resources we can include the what are the environment the student prefer. We need to access the media. When I'm talking about the media, it include all the media, that may be your TV, that may be your radio, that may be anything which will help the learner to get his object. So in access media, I have to think about one thing, that is the budget. What is my budget, or what is the range of our budget? Then it also include the some factors that will have impact upon the impact upon access to media, that is the time factor, learning skills, appropriate workload is there or not, optimal learning activities, it labels, technology, cost also. Then another thing is language. So here I need to, which language do our learner use? How well do they know the language we use in our course? Then about finance, as I've told you that what is the budget for the course? Is this a fixed amount? Are there any service we can acquire free, or any existing material that we can use at a small cost? Then come to the distribution facilities. So here there are some questions need to be answered, that is, how shall we distribute our material? Are the postal services efficient? Are broadcasting signals strong enough for our learners to receive our program? Then come to the manpower and administrative facilities. So in manpower and administrative facilities, here also we need to answer certain questions, that is, how many potential writers, broadcasters, subject specialists, counselors, supervisors do we have available? Next thing is, what can we expect them to do, and at what speed? So here the design of any learning material needs to take consideration of the following factors. First one is time. How long do we have to prepare for the course? if the available time is very short, we will have to recruit several writers to work simultaneously on different aspects of the course, and we'll have to streamline production, probably hiring a greater cost additional editors, designer, printer from outside. It also then come to the selection criteria. So then when I'm talking about the selection criteria, it will include the choices we are giving to them, the time, the method, the production, the cost, mainly the budget. Okay. Then come to the alternative methods of teaching, meeting objectives. So when I'm talking to the objectives, then we have supposed some constraint are there. So are there any alternative methods of meeting these objectives are there? We need to answer this question. So for greater emphasis, we need to place upon the face-to-face practical work. If the distance material or the distance course or the distance thing or the program or the media is not available, we need to do the face-to-face practical work. Then come to the alternative subject matter. Okay, we have already suggested about the curriculum for distance education, that is need to be from conventional different from the conventional course. We have already discussed about it. So we need to have some alternate subject matter. If the subject matter or the subject experts are not available in distance education, we usually have to devise different experiments which can be done at home without laboratory equipment or with simple kits provided by the institution. So this can be used. And then choice of methods. So for curriculum plan, at the time of end of curriculum planning, at the point at which the course begins to take shape, we need to consider upon the what should be the method we will adopt. Then come to the development, production, feedback and evaluation. So in this stage, our final task, that is to develop the course design, come to end. We will lastly discussed about the one by one the course outline, that what should the production and need to have some feedback. Okay, then come to the course outline. So here a course outline needs to specify the aims and objectives of the course, describe how the course is divided into units, providing titles for each unit. As I have told, today's unit 2 is how to make a course design. The name of the unit is course design. So describe the different media components of the course, indicating how each them will be used. Then come to the last one, that is problems in course planning. So we also, when we are going to planning our course, we also face certain problems. Often we can say that conflict of views between different member of the planning group, there can be we face because many of the subject experts in the group will have no experience of distance teaching and its potential, and will mistrust its methods. Okay, so that will be the main problem or common problem we are facing. So this much about your unit 1. Then come to the unit 2. So here, so after course design, now it's time for unit design. Okay. So in course design, we go to the detailed about some certain things. So unit 2 will be detailed about the how to do a core detailed unit design. So come to the aims and objective, key term used in the distance text. Okay. If you are going through a distance learning material, you must see some key topic, that is aims, objectives, units are there. So then come to the what is the meaning of aims and objectives. ଯଦି ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରିବା the aims and objectives, ଯଦି broader meaning ରେ ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା, so ଯଦି aim refers to a broader and general educational goal. ଯଦି ଆମେ example ନେବା କି suppose I want to be a doctor, okay, कि I want to become a teacher. So this is my goal, this is my aim. So what is objectives? So the steps I have taken to fulfill my goal or to fulfill my aim, that is known as the aim. ऑब्जेक्टिव जेमती कि गोटे एग्जांपल होउची जदी मते टीचर हेबार अछि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई नीड टू कंप्लीट माय जदी मो कोन करबी ना मोर जहाँ भी किछि रिक्वायर्ड क्वालिफिकेशन दरकार सपोज मो +2 कली +2 पर 4 ईयर इंटीग्रेटेड बीए किंबा बीएससी बीएड कली तापर कोन करबी टीचरशिप पे अप्लाई करी मु टीचर हेबी सपोज मु बर्तन +3 करूची +3 पर कोन करबी मु 2 इयर्स बीएड करबी बीएड कर सारला पर आई विल बिकम ए टीचर सपोज मोर एम अच्छे गोटे डॉक्टर हेबार तो मते से अनुसार नीट पे प्रिपेयर करे अछि अकॉर्डिंगली मते से अनुसार सेति कि मार्क केयर अछि मते बायोलॉजी रखिबार अछि कि मते साइंस नेबार अछि तापर मु गोटे डॉक्टर हेई पारिबी सो मोर जो गोल अछि तो गोल को अचीव करिया पई जो स्टेप बाय स्टेप आमे गोटे गोटे स्टेप नै थाए किबा जो गोटे गोटे स्टेप आमे आगु बढ़ी थाए ताको आमे ऑब्जेक्टिव कहउचे तो जदि आमे क्लियर कट आको डिस्क्राइब करिबा तो इन ब्रॉडर सेंस वी सेड इट एम जदि आमे नैरो सेंस रे कहबा आमे सॉरी एम्स ता हमर गोटे ब्रॉडर सेंस रे यूज हुए एंड टू अचीव दैट एम वी नीड सम ऑब्जेक्टिव देन कम टू द यूनिट तो जमती कि आमे डिस्टेंस लर्निंग रे बा सेफ कोर्स डिजाइन जतला मटेरियल डेवलप करू आमे आ गोटे वर्ड सुनिचे यूनिट तो वर्ड जो यूनिट इज यूज्ड टू डिनोट ए पार्ट ऑफ ए ब्लॉक जमती कि आज आमे कोन पढुचे आमे MES-12 रो ब्लॉक पढुचे 2 किंतु यूनिट भी वर्तमान आमे 2 रे पहुंची गलेनी तो सिंपली गोटे पार्ट को जदि डिनोट करबा पय आमे ताको कोन कहउचे से वर्ड को आमे जोटा यूज करचे ताको आमे यूनिट बोली कहउचे तो किछु गोटे सर्टेन पार्ट जेतला आमे पूरा कोर्स आउटलाइन करूचे ताको जेतला ब्लॉक रे डिवाइड करूचे किछि टॉपिक रखुचे किछि पर्टिकुलर कंटेंट रखुचे सेटा को आमे यूनिट बोली कहउचे इवन जदि आमे इग्नो मटेरियल इवन आमे देखिथिबा कि जदि ब्लॉक रे हमर गोटे लेखे यूनिट रहुची तापर आछी कोना असेसमेंट क्वेश्चन सो हमें यूनिट रखिले यूनिट रे हमें कोर्स मटेरियल रखिले मटेरियल को हमें डिवाइड करले डिवाइड कर सरला परे टू सेल्फ फॉर द सेक ऑफ द सेल्फ असेसमेंट जदि मते सेल्फ असेसमेंट पय निजो किछटा क्वेश्चन भी करिवार अछि निजो को रीइंफोर्समेंट करिवार अछि किछि निजो को फीडबैक देबार अछि सो किछटा हमें सेल्फ असेसमेंट क्वेश्चन मध्ये सेथिरे रखिताउ देन आसुची कोन एसेंशियल एंड रिकमेंडेड टेक्स्ट फर्दर रीडिंग सो जेतेला हमें कोर्स बा यूनिट डिजाइन करिबा सेथिरे हमें नॉट ओनली यूनिट रखिले किबा सर्टेन टॉपिक रखिले ताको डिस्क्राइब करले ताको डिस्क्राइब करि सरला परे हमें असाइनमेंट क्वेश्चन रखिले फॉर द रीइंफोर्समेंट फॉर द सेक ऑफ द फीडबैक तापर हमें कोन करिबा ना जदि सेतिकी कारण गोटे स्टडी मटेरियल रे जेतिकी भी हमर यूनिट डिजाइन कर जायथे बा जेतिकी लेखा जायथे दैट मे बी नॉट इनफ फॉर ए स्टूडेंट सो आमे सेथरे आउ कोन ना एक्स्ट्रा मटेरियल एडिशनल बुक एडिशनल यूनिट इवन किछटा एसेंस माने जोटा हमर रेफरेंस बुक जोटा हमें कोचे रेकमेंडेड टेक्स्ट हमें कहि परिबा तो एगुडा को सब तक हमें कोन करबा लास्ट को गोटे स्टूडेंट पे सजेस्ट करि परिबा फॉर द फर्दर रीडिंग नेक्स्ट आसुचे हमर कोन की फीचर्स ऑफ ए यूनिट so जेतले की फीचर्स हमें कहूचे जेतले हमें यूनिट रखुचे ऑब्वियसली दिस इज नॉट फंक्शन एज ए फेस टू फेस मोड एथरा हमें कोन करबा वी विल try to convert it as a face to face mode so we will start with the beginning of a beginning a unit जेतले मो unit start करूचे so I will start from the introduction इंट्रोडक्शन जेतले हमें कहूचे कोन हमें रखिबा सेतरे ना कंटेंट आउटलाइन यूनिट स्ट्रक्चर रखिबा सेतरे हमें कोन करूचे जेमति कि तुम देखिथिबो कि हमरो स्टार्टिंग होची नाइ मोर कोन मते एही यूनिट रे मु कोन पढेबा को जाउची ए यूनिट कोन रहइबो कोन कंटेंट एथर रहइबो यूनिट रो स्ट्रक्चर हमें सेतरे रखुचे तापर कोन रखुचे ना स्टेटमेंट ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिव्स कि एही यूनिट ता पढि सरला परे the students will be able to know about certain content or part सेटा तापर हमें स्टेटमेंट ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिव रखिबा तापर कोन रखुचे ना गोटे ओवरव्यू रखिबा कि एक्चुअली ए यूनिट ता कोन सब विषय रे कहिबा को जाउची गोटे जीस किबा सजेशन टाइप रो गोटे ओवरव्यू रखिबा देन एथरा हमें कोन करबा स्टडी गाइडेंस देबा जेतो स्टडी गाइडेंस हमें दोची हमें एथरा गोटे नोट रखिबा कि एसेंशियल और रिकमेंडेड रीडिंग that relates to the unit ame rakhiba information about related practical work and advanced warning of equipment that may be needed later in the unit eta ame rakhiba a mention of related audio and or video materials ame dei pariba introductory pages re an idea of the terms needed to study the unit, especially if course units are of different lengths, सेटा में रख परिबा. Any other practical information that could help in getting the best out of a given unit, एटा में रख परिबा. Without such guidance, learner may be waste their time. Then come to the next one, that ଆଉ କଣ ଆମେ include କରିବେ ଯେତେବେଳେ main କଥା ହଉଛି a note on the other related units. कि ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ यूनिट ସହିତ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ related ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ यूनिट को ଆମେ relate କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛେ, we need to give certain ଗୋଟେ note ରଖିବା, ଗୋଟେ additional point ରଖିବା ଯୋଉଟା କି ତାକୁ help କରିବ next unit କୁ ଯିବା ପାଇଁ, ଯୋଉଥିରେ କି କଣ ଆମେ ରଖିପାରିବା ନା content list or unit structure, objective and introduction. And introduction ଟା କଣ content କରିବ कि certain points content କରିବ ଯେମିତି କି ପୁରାଟାକୁ ବୁଝଉଥିବ. ତାହେଲେ objectives କଣ ରହିବ ଏଥିରେ, the empirical or prospective literature and instructional planning. ଯଦି ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ example ନେଇକରି କରିବା ତ ତାର ଯାହା ବି କିଛି ସେ ୟୁନିଟ ର ଲାଷ୍ଟ ରେ ଆମକୁ ପାଇବାର ଅଛି, ସो ଆମକୁ ସେ ଅବଜେକ୍ଟିଭ ଟାକୁ ଆଗରେ ଲେଖିବାର ଅଛି ବା ଫର୍ମୁଲେଟ କରିବାର ଅଛି. ଦେନ୍ ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ବି ନେଇକିରି ଆମେ କରିପାରିବା, which is also here in your book. सो तापर आमे रिसोर्स रखी परिबा. रिसोर्स रे आमे कोन ना जो यूनिट टा जो कोर्स कंटेंट आमे लिखुचे, से कोर्स कंटेंट ऊपर ऑलरेडी जदी किछि रिसर्च हेई सारिछि एंड से रिसर्च रो रिजल्ट जदी फैमिलियर अछि, सो आमे रिसर्च सेटा को आज रेफरेंस आमे यूज करि परिबा. एंड रेफरेंस केमती यूज करियो, इट इज ऑलरेडी देयर इन योर बुक. यू कैन गिव द टेक इट एज एग्जांपल कि जदी किछि गोटे जिंस मते एज ए जनकर लेखारु नेबार अछि बा जनकर रिसर्च रु नेबार अछि, आई विल मेंशन हिज नेम, द ईयर आल्सो, एंड विल गिव क्रेडिट इन द रेफरेंस. देन आउ कोन रखिबा ना गाइडलाइन रखिबा. तो गाइडलाइन आमे प्रॉपर्ली रखिबा. गाइडलाइन जेते आमे देबा कसेस रे जेमती आमे पिला माने कोन रूल्स माने फॉलो करिवे, एतरे कोन नाही, एवरीथिंग विल बी डिटेल्ड आमे तांको प्रोवाइड करिबा. देन जेते बेले आमे गाइडलाइन रखुचे कोन ना ऑब्जेक्टिव जेमती रहिला, each and everything केमती नंबर ऑफ केसेस बा कोन यूनिट्स रहउचे, हमर कोन कोन एतरे मेरिट्स रहउची, एवरीथिंग आमे एज ए गाइडलाइन आमे तांको प्रोवाइड करिबा कि एई स्टडीटा कला परे कोन हो पे कंटेंट रे कोन अछि, कोठु तमे सप्लीमेंटरी पाई परिबो, एई यूनिट रो जाइकर एटा देखि परिबो. तो किछि ना किछि गाइडलाइन प्रत्येक यूनिट बा कंटेंट जेतला आमे ताको पढिबा को जाउचे ताको आमे प्रोवाइड करि परिबा. नेक्स्ट आसीबा द बॉडी ऑफ ए यूनिट. सो फर्स्ट रो आमे कोन करले, जदी इंट्रोडक्टरी स्टेटमेंट रखिले, यूनिट रखिले, तापर गाइडलाइन रखिले, ऑब्जेक्टिव रखिले, बर्तन बॉडी को आसीबा कि गोटे बॉडी ऑफ यूनिट रो आमे कोन रखिबा. सो जेतला आमे यूनिट को आसुचे, एथरा आमे देखितिबा देयर आर नंबर ऑफ सेक्शंस आर देयर, जेमति कि तमन देखितिबो 1.1 1.2.1 1.3.1 कि 2.3.2 जेमति कि आमे पढुचे. तो जेतले डिफरेंट ऑब्जेक्टिव्स नौचे ताको हमें डिफरेंट सेक्शन रे डिवाइड करिबा. गोटे टॉपिक रो जोटा कि हमर थीम रो सब थीम थाए, सब थीम को हमें कोन करिबा पॉइंट दे के लिखबा, सो दैट इट विल बी इजी फॉर ए स्टूडेंट. देन जेतले एंडिंग ऑफ द यूनिट आसीबो, एटा बॉडी ऑफ द यूनिट पर एंडिंग ऑफ द यूनिट करिबा हमें. सो द लास्ट सेक्शन विल हेल्प द लर्नर टू चेक दैट दे हैव कंप्लीटेड ऑल द नेसेसरी एक्टिविटीज, अंडरस्टूड एंड रिकमेंडेड ऑल द मटेरियल. सो एथरे हमें कोन कोन रखुचे देखितो, तमरे निजर जदी सेल्फ लर्निंग मटेरियल देखबे, एथरे गोटे समरी सेक्शन रखा जाय कि जोटा भी हमें ए यूनिट रे पढिले तो तार समरी कोन अछि, गोटे असाइनमेंट सेक्शन रखा जाय. तो लास्ट रे हमें कोन रखिबा यूनिट रो गोटे असाइनमेंट से समरी रखिबा आ गोटे असाइनमेंट रखिबा. देन कम टू द डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ सेल्फ लर्निंग टेक्स्ट. So self-learning material are designed for the learners to use on their own and can be classified, divided into two groups. First one is those which are designed for the learners to use without assistance, and for those which require some kind of guidance or intervention for the teacher or the counselor. So first one is the first group includes the yourself the books, ଯେମିତି କିଛି ନୋଟ୍ସ ହେଲା, ମାନୁଆଲ୍ସ ହେଲା, ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡବୁକ୍ ହେଲା, ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ ଇନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ସନ ହେଲା, ଯୋଉଟା ତମେ ନିଜେ ନିଜେ ସେଟା କରିପାରିବ. ଆଣ୍ଡ ସେକେଣ୍ଡଟା କଣ କରୁଛି ନା ଓପନ ଲର୍ନିଂ ମେଟେରିଆଲ, କୋରେସ୍ପଣ୍ଡେଣ୍ଟ ଲେସନ, ଷ୍ଟଡି ଗାଇଡ୍ସ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଡିଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଏଜୁକେସନ ୟୁନିଟ୍ସ ରିକ୍ୱାରମେଣ୍ଟ କରିବ. ଦେନ୍ ଆମର ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ଆସୁଛି, ଇଜ ଏ टेक्स्ट बुक ए सेल्फ लर्निंग टेक्स्ट. जदि आम देखा गोटे टेक्स्ट बुक जदि आम गोटे सेल्फ लर्निंग टेक्स्ट हिसाब रे नेबा जदि आम एज ए फेस टू फेस लर्नर बा नॉर्मल जदि कन्वेंशनल लर्निंग को आम देखा टेक्स्ट बुक को आम गोटे सेल्फ लर्निंग टेक्स्ट हिसाब जाऊ किंतु कंडीशन कौन रोचे सेठी आम फेस टू फेस टीचर को सहित इंटराक्ट करछे जदि किछि प्रॉब्लम होछि सेठी आम बुझुछि जोटी कि आम सेल्फ लर्निंग जोटी कि हमर कन्वेंशनल टेक्स्ट बुक रे सेल्फ लर्निंग टोटली मिसिंग थाए आम टोटली टीचर को ऊपर डिपेंड करथाउ किंतु जदि आमे देखिबा कि जदि आमे सेल्फ लर्निंग टेक्स्ट बुक आमे कहूचे ताले एटा कोन कोन इंक्लूड करबा फर्स्ट होची कोन फुल कवरेज एंड एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ ईच टॉपिक a carefully structured order of presentation, arrangement for reinforcement and feedback, advice on how to take matters further. So a यूनिट रे कौन करबा कि ए रिलेटेड काम केमते आमे करि पारे ओटे क्लियर अंडरस्टैंडिंग या ऊपर नेबा तो सिंपली जते आमे कहूचे टेक्स्ट बुक पई सो टेक्स्ट बुक इज हियर द लर्नर इज passive but in self learning material learner is active. Here in textbook structure is hidden but in self learning material learner is aware of structure. In textbook the teacher is directed learning. Here in self learning material self directed learning will be happen. Here in textbook we depend upon the lecture but in self learning material a dialogue will be there as we have already discussed in unit 1. So in textbook there is impersonal style and there will be no word like you will be used. And then in self-learning material, friendly and personalized style will be used. So here in textbook, little scope for application of knowledge and skills, but in self-learning material, learner applies new knowledge and skills. In textbook, no activities. In some cases, at the end of the chapter may be there, but in most of the cases, there are no activities included. But here in self-learning material, activities and exercises presented throughout the text. So in textbook, content arranged in chapters or large books. Here in self-learning material, content is divided into small chunks. In textbook, a dense content will be there. So in self-learning material, content are unpacked. In textbook, no assignment pertaining to content we can see, but in self-learning material, assignments related to content or through our material. In textbook, there will be little or no self-assessment, but in self-learning material, emphasis on should be on self-assessment or also emphasis given on self-assessment. In textbook, there will be no feedback, but in self-learning material, feedback provided on learner's progress. Then come to teach yourself books. So sometimes we can see that we have a temptation to cram for examination or from revision notes. So we have also do it in our life, but basically in teach yourself books, what we called it that notes, revision notes, teach yourself books like this may be published within the one month. That is, we can say the to get the money from the students. Okay, but here in distance learning, this book we can see from our course designer, which will help you um, immensely to get to know the particular unit or content area. So here then come to the manuals and handbooks. So self-learning material also different from the manuals and handbooks. Then come to the program instruction. So program instruction, yeah, it is given by the Skinner as we know. ଯଦି ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଦେବି ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ସପୋଜ program instruction ରେ କଣ ହୁଏ and there are two types of programming, one is linear another is branching. Linear ରେ କଣ ଥାଏ कि ତମେ one by one question କଲ proceed କରି ଚାଲିଲ। ଯଦି branching ରେ କଣ ହୁଏ suppose ମୁଁ multiple question ଦେଇଛି, multiple question ରେ question ପଚାରିଛି ତାର ଚାରିଟା option ଦେଇଛି A B C D। suppose first ପିଲାଟା choose କଲା A, ଯଦି ଏଟା ହଉଛି right answer then ସେ question number 2 କୁ ଯିବ କି 2 କୁ ଯିବ। ଯଦି ତାର ଏଟା ଭୁଲ ବାହାରିଲା ନାହିଁ ଟୋଟାଲି କିମ୍ବା ସେ କରିପାରିଲାନି କିମ୍ବା କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଅପସନ ନମ୍ବର ଏ ଟୋଟାଲି ରଙ୍ଗ ଆସିଲା, ତାହେଲେ କ'ଣ ହବ ନା ସେଠି ତାକୁ ଗୋଟେ ଅପସନ ଦିଆଯାଇଥିବ କିମ୍ବା ତାକୁ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ଲୁ ଦିଆଯାଇଥିବ କି ନାଇଁ ଏଇଟା କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ ଭୁଲ, ଆଣ୍ଡ ତାକୁ ସେଠି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ଲୁ ଦିଆଯିବ କୋଉଟା ଠିକ ଆନ୍ସର ହେଇପାରିବ। ଯଦି ସେ କ୍ଲୁଟାକୁ ଠିକ କଲା ଦେନ୍ ସେ ଅପସନ ସି ମାରିଲା, ଅପସନ ସି ରାଇଟ୍, ତାହେଲେ ସେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ନମ୍ବର 2 କୁ ଯିବ। ଯଦି ଅପସନ ସି ଏଗେନ୍ ଭୁଲ ବାହାରିଲା ସେଠି ପୁଣି ତାକୁ ସେଠି କୁହାଯାଇଥିବ କି ଏଇଟା କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ ଭୁଲ ହେଲା, କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ ଏଇଟା ଠିକ ହେଲା ନାହିଁ, ସେଠି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ଲୁ ଦିଆଯିବ। ତାକୁ ଆମେ କ'ଣ କହୁଛେ ନା ବ୍ରାଞ୍ଚିଂ ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମିଂ କହୁଛେ। ଯେପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ପିଲାଟା ରାଇଟ୍ ଆନ୍ସର କରିନି ସେ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସେ କ'ଣ କରିବ, ୱାନ୍ ବାଇ ୱାନ୍ ଅପସନକୁ ଯିବ, ଦେନ୍ ରାଇଟ୍ ଆନ୍ସର କଲା ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସେ ସବୁତକ ଅପସନକୁ ଚୁଜ୍ କରିପାରିବ, ଦେନ୍ ରାଇଟ୍ ଆନ୍ସର କଲେ ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନକୁ ଯିବ। ସୋ ଏଠି ଯୋଉ ମିଷ୍ଟେକ୍ ଆମେ କହୁଛେ ତ ସେ ମିଷ୍ଟେକ୍ ରୁ ସେ ଏଠି ଶିଖିବ କିଛି, ଦେନ୍ ସେ ନେକ୍ସଟ କୁ ମୁଭ୍ କରିବ, ତାକୁ ଆମେ କହୁଛେ ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ ଇନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ସନ। ଦେନ୍ କମ୍ ଟୁ ଦ ଓପନ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲ୍ସ। ତ ଓପନ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲ୍ସ ଆମେ ଯୋଉଟା ଆମେ କହିପାରିବା କ'ଣ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଆର୍ ନଟ୍ ମଷ୍ଟ text of a distinct type as text design for a particular mode of use. We can say they are open in the sense that they may be used in any of several ways for individual learning outside the classroom or by a teacher within a class. Okay, here the student or the teacher select appropriate material for the pack. Then students generally need the help of a teacher or supervisor to assist them to make selection even if they study alone thereafter. Then come to the correspondence units. So this is a kind of distance teaching text where the main element of the course are the lessons or units, and tuition also or coaching also provided by correspondence. Okay, then come to the study guided or wrap-up material. So a study guided, which is also known as wrap-up material, is a form of correspondence unit that is linked to the essential text, which means it is the main means of instruction. Here the study guide provides instruction for reading the textbook, in what order to tackle the chapters or what pages to read for each topic. A framework for study, that may be objectives or introduction, any necessary commentary or explanation of the book, and self-assessment questions, answers, and assignment as necessary. In other words, we can say that a study guide is a correspondence course with the main body of the text omitted, because this is covered in the essential text. So study guides usually have few pages. They are an economical way of developing distance course, provided that a suitable textbook is available. So they are often used for high level small enrollment courses where it will be expensive to develop a full self content course, and where students at an advanced level are better able to handle textbooks whatever their infrastructure with the help of the study guides. Then come to the distance education units. So in distance education units, जोटा कि आमे लास्ट दिटा आइटम पढ़ले, जोटा कि डिस्टेंस एजुकेशनल यूनिट रो आमे कोन कहले गोटे डिस्टिंक्टिव फीचर अछि, जोटा कि आमे कोन कहूचे कोथरो ना फेस टू फेस लर्निंग रो ताको अलगा करूची, जोथरे से ताको निजो को सेल्फ इवैल्यूएशन करूची, जोथरे यूनिट्स होची ताको डिवाइड करूची, से निजे निजे सेतरे प्रोग्रेस होची. ओके, so this much about your unit 2. Then come to the unit 3, that is organizing the content. Okay, so here this will be the last unit. Here we have 4 units are there. I think for today we will discuss about only 1 and 2. In next class we will discuss about the unit 3, that is organizing the content, and the unit 4, that is organizing the presentation. So in this way in next class we will complete this block 2. For another class will be block 3. This much about this class, about the course design and unit design. Thank you. Okay.